Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, the other day we were talking about focus groups and all of the anecdotal little tidbits that we've been covering, and I pointed out in that video that in terms of the demographic shift, we've only seen it go one way. Disgruntled, quote, lifelong Democrat voters fleeing the party. From major politicians like the Democrat North Vegas mayor who left the party and joined Republicans, to just regular people, school mobs, suburban moms, Hispanic voters and black voters specifically, ditching the Democrats heading into the next election. We have seen it over and over and over again. It started off as possibly anecdotal, possibly just a coincidence in the algorithm feeding our feeds with what we want to see, but it has become such a repeated, widespread phenomenon that no longer do I think that there's a possibility that it's just a coincidence. I think it's a trend. The Democrats are being ditched by lifelong Democrats. People who have voted blue no matter who for decades in some cases, people who even played active roles in getting Democrats elected, are saying enough is enough. I am done. I am done with these leftoids who I keep voting for over and over again, promising me the world and beyond, and nothing ever changes. And now to add on top of that all the craziness, it seems to be the straw that broke the camel's back, as not only Republicans and independents are sick of Democrats, Democrats are sick of Democrats. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that as more evidence continues to pile, convincing me of this phenomenon. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so we've got a bunch more examples that just continue to pop up just in the last couple of days. 4 major examples of this phenomenon. Let's start off with a little Fox News segment with the Chiron reading, lifelong New York Democrat backing AOC's opponent.
She lost me a long time ago when she opposes the 25,000 jobs that Amazon wants to bring to New York. She lost me there, but then she continued doing these socialist things against the police officer in favor of releasing criminals into the street. But right now, the Hispanic community, I'm a Hispanic like her, and we are turning, we are fed up, and we are asking everyone to vote for Tina Forte. Right now, I am working in the Bronx to get 40% of the Hispanic community to support Lee Zeldin and Tina Forte. So I believe that Lee Zeldin will be our next governor, and Tina Forte will be our next congresswoman.
This comes right after a couple weeks ago we covered Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's approval rating with Hispanics has fallen to an all-time low, and she's now less popular than Mayra Flores is with Hispanic voters. Well, now we have a lifelong New York Democrat, a New York Hispanic community leader, Reverend Ruben Diaz Sr., president of the New York Hispanic Clergy Organization, coming out publicly in front of millions of people during Fox News primetime and urging Hispanics to support Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's opponent. And look, this one situation, isolated, wouldn't really be a big deal. We've covered them before, it's maybe one little video here and there every couple of months. But folks, it's not just this one isolated situation. It's that, plus this. Top Georgia Democrat Snubs Abrams endorses Republican Brian Kemp. A top Democrat in Georgia is flipping on his own party just days before the crucial midterm elections. Kwanzaa Hall, the former Democratic candidate for lieutenant governor, has snubbed his party's gubernatorial nominee Stacey Abrams and instead throws his support behind incumbent Republican Governor Brian Kemp. While we don't agree on every issue, it's abundantly clear that Brian Kemp is a man of character, a strong leader, and someone who Georgians can trust to put them and their interests first. Hall said, citing Kemp's ability to make tough decisions in unprecedented circumstances. Hall is also a former member of the Atlanta City Council and briefly served as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives for Georgia's 5th Congressional District following the death of former Democrat Representative John Lewis, who represented the seat, Fox News reported. A top Georgia Democrat, days ahead of the election, just broke with his own party, refusing to endorse supposed Democrat superstar Stacey Abrams, and released a public statement directly attributed to him endorsing Republican Brian Kemp. That's pretty wild. So now we have the AOC one plus this one. No longer is the AOC situation isolated, except you think it ends there. No, it doesn't. Quote, the DNC gives not 2 Fs about women's rights. top feminist and Bill Clinton advisor Naomi Wolf urges women to shun the Democrat Party on Tuesday. Feminist author and former Bill Clinton advisor Naomi Wolf is urging women to vote like women in a scathing rebuke of Democrat leadership in an article published on Substack Sunday. Dr. Wolf calls on women to think about freedom and who took it away and who is claiming to care about it when you enter that polling booth. Wolf details how she has watched in astonishment as Democrats over the past 20 months have systematically thrown away the women's vote, their primary treasure. Democrats claim to champion women's rights and feminism, but in reality, anti-child Democrat lawmakers work to economically and psychologically cripple women with lockdowns and medical coercion and mandates for them and their children. The closures of small businesses by force, she contends. Oh, it's almost as if she's providing an actual coherent argument rather than the complete nonsense that we heard from ABC's The View the other day with Sunny Hostin.
I read a poll just yesterday that white Republican suburban women are now going to vote Republican.
Why?
It's almost like roaches voting for Raid, right?
You mean to tell me that the Democrats just speak in hyperbole and use fear-mongering to manipulate women into voting for them, and the alternative is someone here like Naomi Wolf actually putting together a coherent argument as to why women should actually vote for Republicans and why that's in their better interest? It seems as though people might be finally waking up. Naomi Wolf calls the female vote the primary treasure for Democrats, and that's correct. Well, what more proof do you need that people are finally waking up than women, actively political female voters who have identified as lifelong Democrats ditching the party? It's not just Naomi Wolf and others. It's just regular people. And that brings us to our final example here. It doesn't feel anecdotal anymore. How many times, just in the last however many months, have we played clips exactly like this one?
I've been staunchly Democrat all of my life. It hasn't been until recent that I've been undecided. I started voting Republican here at the local level.
Iris is a longtime resident here in McAllen, Texas.
You had never voted for a Republican in your life.
Yes.
What do you make of that?
I think it's just people are tired of the same old, the same status quo. If we keep voting the same people in, nothing's changing.
The Democratic Party is faring well with Latinos at the national level, but in the Rio Grande Valley, the numbers tell a different story. And although President Biden has pushed back against calls from some Democrats to defund the police, that message hasn't been clear enough for these voters.
Defund the police definitely does not resonate with me. I do believe in law and order. As much as I do want prison reform to happen.
Again, another female voter who claims explicitly they had never voted for a Republican ever, all of a sudden is voting Republican down ballot. What has historically been the Democrat primary treasure is becoming the Democrats' worst nightmare. Lifelong Democrat women voters are ditching the Democrats. When the Dems are losing the vote blue no matter who crowd, at least a small percentage of them, a good chunk of them. But in the world of elections, that small percentage shift in a key demographic spells doom. And that might be exactly what we're currently seeing in Florida, for instance. Miami-Dade being a large population Hispanic county. Well, what do you think is fueling that shift? We already know that the majority of men tend to vote Republican. What's probably happening, what's probably behind that shift is the female vote ditching the Democrats, and especially the Hispanic vote following suit, and it's going to have disastrous impacts for Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer, the whole lot of them, as they are booted out of their leadership positions. I guess another way to frame it is the Latino vote and the woman vote might actually save the nation after all. That's what I got for you guys though. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.